Alright guys, this is the TruGlo Spring Fisher. Really cool head. Instead of twisting the head, you pull down and then flip the barb back up, pull your fish off, and then just pop the barbs back down and they lock into place. Really cool design. Now the tip can come off. It's really tough steel. I don't know if it's actually hardened or anything, but I do know that it's really tough because of the first test that I took this through. Now the slide system's unique to TruGlo for the most part. You got a solid piece of plastic for the slide. Those are usually really tough, and you'll see just how tough it is later in the video. The first test was shooting the arrow at a cinder block, and the tip itself was fine, but when I started playing with it, it just popped off the shaft. And that actually happened to me out on the river as well, and I lost the arrowhead, so you really need to secure these arrowheads well. You can put a pin through there, they just don't do it at the factory. Now after the head came off, I super glued the head back on there. That's what I do on the river, and I started hanging weight from it. I stopped at 40 pounds because I figured that was a good number, and then I started to drop the weight. I went 10, 20, 30, 40, and it withstood all those tests, so I was pretty impressed that the super glue held up that well. Still good. It's not going anywhere either. Super glue did the trick. Then I did the same test, but I attached the weights to the arrow slide, and once again, no problem here. These TruGlo slides are great. In fact, as you see here, it snapped that AMS line, and that stuff's rated at 250 pound test, so that's kind of crazy. Then to test the shaft durability, I just beat it against stuff. Nothing scientific here. It marred up the surface whenever I whacked it on a rock, and what actually broke it was hitting it on metal. The test itself is pretty ridiculous, so all you really need to know is that the shafts are really sturdy. I got her split. So right now those arrows sell for about $28, and I'd say they're almost worth that much money. And I say almost because those heads fall off pretty easily, and it's a pretty expensive arrow that you don't want to lose the head on. So what I would do is drill a hole through the shaft. They already got a hole in the head, and then put a roll pin in there or some type of pin and epoxy it in place. That way you don't accidentally lose your expensive head. And that action is really cool. Instead of twisting stuff, all you have to do is pull down, twist up, and you got your fish off the arrow. Really simple, really convenient. So if you're looking for an arrow that's more than average and you're willing to pay about $30 for it, I'd say the spring tip is definitely a good option as long as you have the resources to put a pin in there so you don't lose your head.